How are we, everybody? How are we? Hopefully we're all good. Welcome to the chat. Hopefully your Sunday is going well. Let me just turn my TV down. Actually, I just couldn't hear that in the background. How are we? Foley is in the chat yet again. Hey DB bro, hope you're well. My prediction came true. What a game. Birmingham and Middlesbrough next. There, yeah. I know you did predict that, to be honest. You did predict that, mate. 3-1. It was a good game. The first half, or I should say the first 40 minutes were really not great. Not great whatsoever. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see if we can get some more people in chat. But yeah, we got big games coming up next. We do very big games. So hopefully, fingers crossed. No issues with those games. Now this would have been probably an uploaded video, but obviously because it's a free game week, it's gonna be hard to edit shit and all of that. So it's pretty much live stream today, live stream tomorrow, live stream Tuesday, and then probably live stream Thursday, and then live stream Saturday. That's gonna be the schedule this week, I think. Usually what I was going to do was just do the upload videos for the pre-match and the match reaction, because it saves time for me. But as a free game week, it's going to be a bit difficult to do that. I might still do it, I don't know. Right now, that's probably the calendar right now for this week. Foley, Burrell definitely got a lot more goals in him. I think the thing is, right, with Burrell, I feel like he's being put first because of the goals, and because of the consistency he's doing. I think Julian is kind of at the point now where it's like Kone is, because Kone's not scoring, he's not a valued player in that position. He's using him as pretty much what he was yesterday. But like I said, Burrell was 1 million, and he's a decent signing. Whoever the scouts are and everything like that have done a cracking job in finding that, and actually understanding and noticing what he would become. So yeah, Kone, although he didn't score, he had a good game. He did have a good game. Listen, look, Kone's not shit. I've never said Kone's shit. I think Kone has great games, but for what he has been brought in for, his goals, I think, or I believe, he's not scoring them. So it's kind of like, do you blame the player or do you blame the manager? What is it? In my opinion, I'm not going to blame the player, because I honestly believe he's being played in the wrong position for goals, and he's being used to hold up as a deep line forward to hold the ball up. Michi Frey would probably be on the pitch doing that, but I just don't think he sees anything in Frey, I got told Burrell was 1 million. I did. I got told Burrell was 1 million. Probably 700, maybe 700,000 plus add-ons. Maybe that's what it was, with goals and whatever it is, perks that they do these days and all of that. So yeah, I personally, I don't know. All I heard was it was 1 million. So yeah, but yeah. Anyone else in the chat today? Everyone else in the chat? Not anyone else apart from Foley, the usual. Anybody there? We'll be starting the stream off soon, in a second, once we know what's going on. Everyone happy and having a good weekend though? How's your weekend, Foley? Hopefully it's all good. Obviously, apart from the win. Anyone catch the what was it? The game? Was it the game last night? Was it? Generally can't remember what game it was now. What the hell? Kind of mental. We'll go back to Foot Mob. Yeah, I'm good. Good to hear, man. Very good to hear. Who was the game yesterday in the Premier League last night? I'm sure it was a game. Leeds Liverpool, that was it, yeah. And we'll catch that game. That was a mental game, you know. I think Onslaught's gonna get sacked, you know. I really do. Leicester won, obviously. Blackburn got postponed, which was I thought was bad, man. That was really bad. And Coventry lost, yeah, so pretty good. Coventry lost, so it shows you anyone you can beat them. And if it is going to be anyone, Ipswich are pretty much doing what they're meant to be doing anyway. They're back in, looking great again. Fighting in the playoffs for getting up there. Scotty M, welcome to the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Good game. Yeah, it was a really good game. Were we on about QPR or were we on about Liverpool? I don't know which one we're on about. It was a good game though. Yeah, I think the best game was probably you know, the second half was a lot better than anything. Actually, I want to see the top goal scorers. Burrell was 4th top goal scorer in the league at the moment with 9 goals. He's very... You know what? Jesus Christ, I didn't know that. Did you know the highest goal scorer is 10 goals in the championship? Burrell's very close to flipping being a top goal scorer for the championship. I think he's going for that golden boot, you know? Dale, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you're okay, bro. Again, ole. Yeah, Burrell was quality last night, man, honestly. Mate, Burrell is... I'm going to keep repeating myself, you know, Burrell... To me, Burrell reminds me a lot of different players, you know, mainly Jamie Mackey, I would say. Mainly Jamie Mackey, you know, he's got heart, he's got, you know, pace, you know, he wins the ball, he's got strength, and he don't take no shit off no one, as everyone saw against, what was the player yesterday? The centre-back for West Brom. Scotty M wasn't expecting Burrell to get so many so early this in season. Thought it was going to be Kone. Well, Kone was the one that was shining at the time, but I guess it took time for Roman Burrell to get into like a rhythm, a use of it. Once he starts, I think Burrell is a born goal scorer, but I think when you get into a rhythm, you keep that rhythm and the motivation is there for you to keep going, I think. So yeah, I think he's pretty decent at that. I think it is signing the season. You know, I think there's a lot of players that we've signed, but I think obviously with the price and obviously it was an unknown signing, which no one knew about. It pretty much, yeah, I would say signing the season, for sure, in the championship. Actually, I don't know about the championship. I'm not too sure. I've got to look at because I think there is a player that there is another player. I think so yeah, Joe Geldhart's got 10 goals this season. Jesus Christ. Well, looks like we're doing well in the chat, so let's get this cracking and starting. Right, so where is it? There it is. Switching it over. Right, so yesterday we beat West Brom at home at Loftus Road 3-1. Now, starting from the game, it was really disappointing. Really disappointing. Not the greatest of games whatsoever. In the first 40 minutes, we looked really bad. We did. It was looking like it was going to be a 0-0. I'll be honest, coming into this game, when I saw the West Brom team sheet at the start, I thought, okay, looking at it, we're probably going to lose. You know, I'll be honest. My hands up. You know, I honestly thought we was going to lose. I didn't think we was going to win. I said if we go into it 0-0 at half-time, we was probably going to lose. But, yeah, again, they've corrected me wrong. You know, they've shown me something on that pitch that I didn't think they would do yesterday. You know, just watching the first 39 minutes, 40 minutes of that game, didn't look like we was going to score at all, completely. It was a very even game. It was. Two teams both attacking, but just two solid defenses. You know, we had opportunities, but, you know, I think the thing I was worried most was basically what West Brom were going to do. in my sake. So yeah. But then obviously in the 40th minute, right, I think it was the 40th minute, the goal, I'm not too sure. It was in between 40 and 45 minutes, it was, where Raphael Varane scored a lovely header into the near post from a lovely Madsen cross, honestly, from the right hand side. Brilliant cross. I'll be honest, looking at the goal is quite funny actually. I was gonna do a meme of it, but that keeper who dived for that header is a nightmare. Honestly, looking at it, he looked like a flipping FIFA character, mate. Honestly, he looked like he was gonna mess it up completely. I honestly didn't expect to see that at the end of that goal in a different angle. I actually have it. I might post it up in a bit, but it's quite funny the way he reacted so late to that header. So yeah, West Brom, yeah, but we got into the lead before halftime, which was brilliant for us to go into the second half where Varane finally scored. And then second half, well, before the second half, I should say, was it before the second half or was it I think, I can't remember if it was first half or second half. I've got to look again. But Ilya Share got subbed off for injury. He came off for Dembele, which kind of was a bit unexpected. You know, I didn't expect Chair to really get injured. I know obviously all the time he's pretty much constantly hamstring injuries and stuff like that. So I'm hoping he's fine. I'm hoping it's not a serious injury, because if it is, then it's not going to look great, is it, for us? Especially when he's just come back from injury. So yeah. But then second half, we didn't really make any subs until late in the second half, I think it was. But we got goals from Burrell, 2 goals from Burrell we did. The first goal was a mistake from West Brom, giving it away, where Kone won the ball back and gifted it to Burrell in the box, who side-footed it to the near post of the keeper. A bit like, it was a similar goal to Hull when we played Hull at home. Joe Geldhardt's goal, it was a lot. It was pretty decent for Burrell's finish, going under the keeper near post. So yeah. And then later on in the game, Kone won the ball with his brilliant strength and chipped the ball over a player on the on the sideline, ran into the opposition box, and I don't know if it was a shot or if it was a cross or whatever, but the keeper did really bad to handle that and pushed it literally into Burrell's sights in front of his feet, and literally knocked it into the back of the net, making it free for the third. West Brom's goal was quite a decent goal, I'm not gonna lie. Goal was scored by Hegebo, a striker that is on form in the championship for West Brom. Someone that we needed to watch pretty much closely in that game. Styles got the assist. It was actually a great cross to see Hegebo beating Jimmy Dunn, who is 6 foot something, wherever, to the header and chipping, going over Nardi and hitting the post and going in. So yeah, it was, the second half was a lot better. You know, the subs changed the game, I would say, in Paul Smith and Dembele. Frey and obviously Cook came on a bit later. Cook came off for Clark's. Was it Clark Salter? I think it was. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I think it was Clark Salter. Which, he had another great game, Clark Salter. It's really good to see him back on the pitch, honestly. I honestly thought Joe Walsh was going to play instead of Nardi. But Nardi had a great game. Listen, look, I'm not going to lie. Nardi had a brilliant game yesterday. Even though 1 goal went in, his saves yesterday was on point. He's pretty much our Superman, honestly. I know a lot of people like Ben Hamer, a lot of people like Joe Walsh, and a lot of people don't like Nardi, but in my opinion, Nardi is probably one of the best keepers I think, honestly, we've had in a while. I'll stick by that. I've always said that. I've never hated on Nardi unless it's to do with a mistake, and I admit if it, you know, goalkeeper mistakes and stuff like that. But incredible performance from Nardi, saving us a couple of times in that game. So yeah. Let me have a look at the chat. What's going on? Kone was wanted by many other teams. Yeah, Foley, I know. A lot of Premier League teams were after him as well. I think Sunderland were actually in for him. Swansea was as well. Dale says for a price though. Foley says yeah, Burrell was in the right place at the right time again. Like I said, he seems to be a poacher. He seems to be in the right place and the right time always. You know, Foley says Nardi is still number one for him. Yeah, listen, look, you know, everyone is entitled to their opinions. You know, I'm not gonna hate if you don't like Nardi, if you prefer Joe Walsh, if you prefer Ben Hamer. Listen, we got, in my opinion, four classy keepers if you want to count what's his name, Cooper, who's on out on loan. You know, we've got 4 classy keepers in my opinion. You know, Joe Walsh has not exactly done a great start with obviously certain games. Ben Hamer came into it really great until Steve Cook injured him and obviously he went out. But Nardi was there to cover when that happened, and yet again. So Nardi, in my opinion, has done really well this season at the moment. You know, he's been a top-notch keeper. You know, I know a lot of people say he's gifted the ball away, and you know he can't save shots or whatever. But yesterday proved that he can save shots. You know, he did a great double save in the first half and a great double save in the second half. So yeah, huge shout out to Noddy for keeping us in that game, I think, honestly. Man of the match performance, obviously, Burrell. I actually was going to give it to Madsen, but Burrell finished the second goal. Well, the third goal, I should say. So, in my opinion, Burrell deserves it for sure. So, yeah. As you can see, the ratings are there on the right-hand side. Nardi 7.7, Davis 7.1, Clark sort of 7.4, Don 7.2, and Bengay 6.8. Madsen 8.0, Varane 8.3, Sato 6.7, Kone 8.0, Chair 6.7, and Burrell 9.1. Now, I still think Mbenge cannot play on that right. You know, he did do some better deliveries, but I think Mbenge on the right is still bad for me, in my opinion. Sato looked great on that when he was playing on the right. Honestly, I think right and central is the best places for him. On the left, he gets lost. Chair on the left was brilliant. Dembele came in, played brilliant as well. Kone, you know, he got an assist, an 8.0. What can I say? I'm not really gonna hate on him for one day. But yeah, I would say improvements needed. I would say just get the Mbenge scenario needs to change. I don't like him on that right, you know, and that's my own opinion. You know, I know it's not going to change, but as I think it should change, you know. But I think Sayo did really well on that right hand side yesterday. I think he seems more comfortable on the right and the middle. He does. So yeah. Expected goals was really good yesterday, 2.0, with only 9 total shots, big chances 4. Obviously, West Brom beat us in the ball possession by a couple of percent, but our match momentum was a lot better, 100%, a lot better. We kept on attacking, majority attacks. And yeah, we had certain parts of that game that died down, but that was only because obviously I think momentum and stamina, and we changed the subs and we changed what we was going to do when Michi Frey came on. So yeah, we have Birmingham on Tuesday night, which could be a good game. Lynn and Dyke's coming back to the loft. And we'll be live on Tuesday, and obviously we'll be doing our match preview tomorrow night as well for that. So yeah, Foley is Burrell 8/10. Apparently 9 out of 10. I think he said 9 out of 10. I think it was. I gotta look at it again. I think he said 9 out of 10. Yes, 9 out of 10 goals he's got. Burrell Foley. Yeah, 2 matches of banning yesterday. That's why we finished 10th. Yeah, but it helped us, so I'm not gonna hate on it. But yeah, well, we're gonna leave it there for tonight. We are. I don't like keeping live ones on too long. You know, especially on a Sunday night. People got shit to do, you know. But we're gonna leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow night. We will with our match preview against Birmingham. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for tuning in on Saturday as well yesterday. Much appreciate, much love. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to. We will catch you tomorrow. Have a great weekend, finishing off this today. And don't forget, peace and love and positivity, everyone. Thank you everyone in chat, Foley, Dale, Scott, and who else was there? I think that was it. Ryan, if you're there as well, no worries. But we're going to catch you lot in a bit. Hopefully have a great start of the week, and yeah, enjoy your day.